Joining us now here on the Rich Eisen Show in advance of Monday Night Football against the Los Angeles Chargers. He is, in year 3, one of the best at what he does, the safety of the Baltimore Ravens, Kyle Hamilton. How are you, Kyle?
First off, thank you for having me on. And, doing well. How about yourself?
It's good to see you. How are you? How you been?
Doing well, in the dog days of the season. Once we get on the close to the playoffs, things start getting a little more hyped up, but we got important games coming up, so just got to stay locked in.
Obviously, this one's a big one. And listen, it's no secret you're one of my favorites to watch in the NFL. So
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's the truth. And it's, you had me at hello, and I overlooked the fact you played for Notre Dame when I do that. But, it's okay. He understands. I'm a Michigan man. You understand that. So I'm here to help you out, Kyle, okay? So I don't know if you've heard this. So I'm just going to give you this going into this game. But your coach has a brother who also coaches in the NFL. And he's going to be coaching the team you're playing against on Monday night. Kyle, have you heard that story? Have you heard about that?
That is actually news to me.
Yeah,
we're always talking about nameless, faceless opponents. So same goes with coaches. So nameless, faceless coaches. Just another stepping stone.
Just another one. So this is news to you. I'm just figured I'd clue you in on what's going on.
Yeah, no, news to me. News to I think a lot of people. It's not talked about a lot. Haven't talked about it at all this week with the media. Haven't been asked any questions about it or anything.
I'm the first. Am I the first?
Yeah, you're the first. You're the first.
Wow. I always like being the first, Kyle. I always like doing that. But no, in all seriousness, though, you're taking on Jim. And he's a Michigan man through and through. You kind of want to beat him, right? Because of that alone, Kyle.
Yeah.
Be honest.
And for those that don't have the sarcasm detection skills, that was a little satirical. But
Kyle Hamilton pointing it out, ladies and gentlemen.
But a little bit of the Michigan stuff. A little bit of want to represent our Harbaugh in the best way possible. And I know he's going to have bragging rights at Thanksgiving in the future when we're not playing football games.
That's right.
And especially for the team. And it's a big game for us going to the rest of the season, and I think we're ready to attack it.
Do you have siblings, Kyle?
I have an older brother.
Okay. So, what competition did you ever have with your older brother in that regard?
I think the shorter answer is what competition I didn't have with my brother. Brother Tyler, shout out Tyler for now. We've been battling ever since I can remember, and he's 4.5 years older than me. So he was always a little bit better than me until, I started getting my athleticism, and then, he wanted to stop playing one-on-one and stuff like that in basketball. So this is my official call out to Tyler Hamilton, let him know that he can't beat me anymore in one-on-one.
Wow. So, but you get it then, no, right? The sibling rivalry, you get it. You kind of totally understand why we in the media get fixated when this happens.
For sure. It means a little more, for sure. I'm sure it's a blessing for the family and everybody involved. At the end of the day, everybody wins. It's going to be hard for one of the coaches to accept that, but this is history, and it's awesome to see what they're doing and what they've done and what they mean to the game of football. So I'm just happy to be a part of it.
And when Jack Harbaugh has been around your team, what's that been like, seeing Dad Harbaugh around, and what's he imparted to you, Kyle?
He is. Coach, when I talk to John Harbaugh, it makes a lot of sense why he is the way he is. I think Jack, his dad, has done a great job of just not only showing them how to be great coaches, but great men and leaders. And when he comes in and talks to us, the whole room is captivated, and he's telling great stories. He's super animated, and I'm not sure exactly how old he is. I don't want to age him, but he still has a ton of energy for his age. And I think it's awesome. I think it gives his sons a lot of energy and want to. And
so and then I'll move on talking football with you. Do you guys in the locker room talk about it? Like, we want to do this for John, and because, I'm sure you're not the only one on the Ravens with a sibling and a rivalry and things of that nature, even though it's not really a rivalry between John and Jim, but this is bigger, right? Than in many ways. Family obviously is thickest, but this is a game that you both need to win. But that said, do you talk about the brother versus brother thing amongst yourselves?
Yeah. I don't think it's on the forefront of our mind specifically, but at the end of the day, this is going to be talked about in the future, and Same thing with the Super Bowl in 2012. I know that the Ravens were on the right side of history in that, and it's been, what, 12 years or so since that happened again. And so we want to be on the right side of history when people do talk about this. But for bragging rights wise, winning it for Coach Harbaugh, that's definitely a talking point for us. But at the same time, we want to go win the game for the Ravens.
So then let's talk about you and your team. What is it like going against Lamar in practice, Kyle?
It is fun and terrible at the same time. He is tough to deal with just from a practice perspective, and I don't even have to chase him around really like that, like people do in the game. And I can't imagine playing against him. He's probably the most versatile athlete in the world, regardless of sport. It's just nobody does what they do in their specific sport like Lamar does, and that's something I'll tell to him. At the same time, I'm trying to keep him humble too. So if he throws a pick or something in practice, we're gonna make a big deal out of it because it doesn't happen a lot. But I was just going against him. It's just a blessing to be on the same team and experience this.
Yeah, I mean, there was a play against Cincinnati in that Thursday nighter where the line of scrimmage was on the 12, and he faded back to the 32, like literally 20 yards back, and then wound up putting the ball on the 1 yard line. You know, and again, I'm sure you're not watching game copies back on film, but Al Michaels was at the mic, and he said, "Name me somebody else in the league who can do that." And Kirk Herbstreit said, "Nobody." You know, to use a phrase, it was a very Harbaugh-like phrase, like, no, he didn't say it like nobody, but it's the truth, though, right? I mean, you go against all comers, but it is the truth. Nobody could do it.
I think I'll do you even one better. I think there's not a person. I mean, he makes a play like that every single game, so it's something that when he makes that play, you're kind of asking yourself, I don't know if I could think of another person in the world that can make that play, let alone in football. I don't know about a basketball player or a baseball player or an accountant that can make that play. And he's one of one, literally one of one on this planet. So it's just a blessing to have him on our team. He's going to win a lot of games for us going down the stretch, has in the past and this season, and just excited to have him on the Ravens.
What is it like standing on a sideline? I mean, how does that plays like that, moments like that, MVP seasons like the one that he's had last year and he's following it up this year, what does that do for you as a unit watching it, Kyle?
You know, I think it motivates the defense because most of the time we just got to do our job and we're going to win the game. 8 and all the guys on the offense side of the ball, and I can go down the list of talent on that side, but they're going to get the job done for the most part. And you know, there's going to be games where they might struggle and then the defense has to pick them up. But I think as a defense, we're kind of going out there. Obviously, we want to dominate the game and want to hold them as little points, little yards as possible. But it's like we just got to do our job. Don't do anything spectacular, and we'll win the game just because of what the offense does.
And then before we get to your side of the football, nobody tries to touch Derrick Henry during practice, right? That doesn't happen, correct, Kyle? No.
I think during camp a little bit,
Okay.
everybody had to kind of test their temperature and see where they were at with that. You got to kind of get it out the way. Hit him one time, and you know he may have some choice words and here and there, but I think it's at the same time we're telling ourselves he puts his pants on the same way we do, but his pants might be a little bigger.
So yes, I probably can confirm that. Did you ever get in the way of him? Or you're like, I've got a long career ahead of me. Let's not do that, Kyle.
I think during camp when we have the pads on, you know, I think I tagged him. I thudded him up one time or 2 times, and then, you know, that was I checked that box for the year. So maybe next year in camp, I'll do the same thing, and I'll be good for 2025.
Well, this photograph, let's just put it on the screen. I just couldn't imagine standing in that way, right there, like this one right here. This might have been one of his 80-yarders that he ripped off earlier this year. I'd see that. That's nightmare fuel, man. I'm not lying.
Yeah, I think most people usually have their eyes closed at that point when you get that close.
Jeez. I mean, my goodness. So what do you say to Ravens fans that are concerned about your side of the football entering the final stretch of this season, Kyle? What's your response to that?
My response, I would just say, you know, it might seem like we're deep in the season, and we are, and we understand that, and we know that we got to fix things and fix them fairly quickly, but I think we've gotten better. We just got to put it all together. You know, we're piecing together good things, and We had a good game last game, and we had an opportunity to come out on Monday night and string those games together. And then, we want to hit our peak mid-January, early February, so we can go win that Super Bowl. So still a lot of football left. I think sometimes, the Ravens organization has been good for so long that fans kind of search and sift for stuff. And I think the Ravens fans can be a little spoiled at times just because we've been good forever. But I love it though. It's competitive city, it's competitive mindset, and they hold us to a high standard, and we want to provide and showcase a good product for them.
So what do you think does need to be fixed still, or tightened? What would you say is the goal? Certainly for this week against Justin Herbert, J.K. Dobbins, and crew that you need to stop.
Yeah, I think it's nothing big. It's nothing major, which is a good problem to have. It's not like we don't have the talent. I think it's just communication, getting everybody on the same page, going out there playing free. It's the easy stuff that, you take a step back and just assess what the problem is. And, those are easy fixes. So we know what they are. We just got to go out there and do it. So communicate at a high level. And at that point, once the ball snaps, just go have fun.
Okay. And I don't know what your travel schedule is. Are you going to be able to catch Army, Notre Dame, and Yankee Stadium before you take off?
No, we actually take off right around there, but the plane Wi-Fi, which is a little iffy at times, maybe I'll just track it on ESPN app or something like that.
I'll text Bisciotti. I don't know what's going on. Come on, we got to get.
I want to stay out of that conversation.
That's all right. Let me again.
The plane is perfect. It's the best plane I've ever been on.
No complaints, Kyle. I understand that, but I'll text Bisciotti and say, are you aware your plane's Wi-Fi is a little too spotty? Like, Kyle, you want to stream? Are you nervous about Army, Notre Dame, Yankee Stadium?
I respect the troops.
I do that. This is football.
That they do.
This is football now. This is football.
Not scared of Army, the football team whatsoever.
All right, Notre Dame on the way to. Well, actually, you know what? They're coming out here to USC in a couple of weeks too. So I might actually be going to that game. I'll represent you best I can, Kyle. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It is my pleasure, Kyle. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. Like I said, I just love watching you play. You do it the right way. You do everything the right way. But I'm not the only one to tell you that sort of thing. And you deserve better Wi-Fi. Screw it. I'm going to text him right now. But thanks for the time. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Great talking to you as always.
Right back at you. That's Kyle Hamilton, advance of the big Monday nighter. Again, I don't know if you're aware, Harbaugh versus Harbaugh on Monday night, Ravens Chargers, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.